Welcome to the Rare Coins Explorers. What if a coin sitting in your drawer or mixed in with your spare change could actually be worth a staggering $79 million? That's right. Today we're diving into one of the most shocking and exciting discoveries in the world of rare US currency, the legendary 1990p quarter dollar, a seemingly ordinary coin with an extraordinary hidden value that has collectors, historians, and treasure hunters all buzzing. Welcome to the channel where we uncover the truth behind America's most mysterious and high-value coins, and today's topic may just be the biggest jaw-dropper of them all. The 1990p Washington quarter, minted in Philadelphia, might look like your everyday 25-cent piece, but under the surface lies a story packed with intrigue, minting anomalies, historical value, and an astronomical price tag that has been whispered about for years. The idea that a modern coin could be worth $79 million might sound like a stretch to the average person, but to coin experts and passionate numismatists, this quarter is far from ordinary. To understand why this coin has gained such mythical status, we need to travel back to 1990, a year that appeared unremarkable in U.S. coin production at first glance. The Philadelphia Mint was churning out millions of quarters, each bearing the distinctive P mint mark, with George Washington's familiar profile on the obverse and the proud bald eagle on the reverse. But somewhere in that sea of metal, something unusual happened. An error, or perhaps a deliberate test strike, slipped through the cracks and made its way into circulation. Whether due to a planchet error, a double die strike, an off-metal minting mistake, or the use of a unique die meant for testing purposes, one or more of these 1990p quarters became unlike any others, with characteristics so rare and unusual that they transformed the coin from spare change to a treasure worth tens of millions of dollars. Imagine finding one in your childhood coin jar or inside a dusty old shoebox in your grandparents' attic. Many of the greatest coin discoveries in history happened just like that. But what exactly makes this coin worth $79 million? Experts point to a unique combination of features that has never been duplicated: ultra-high grade preservation, microscopic doubling on the Liberty inscription, and "In God We Trust" motto, a possible transitional planchet from a different metal composition, and a misaligned die clash that created ghost-like images beneath the surface of the coin. In addition, certain examples show slight variations in the spacing of the mint mark and date that only appear under extreme magnification, indicating that the coin may have been struck with experimental dies never intended for circulation. As time passed and stories of these mysterious 1990p quarters began circulating through coin shows, online collector forums, and private appraisals, the legend grew. At first, only a few collectors believed the coin could be real. But when a small group of high-end numismatic experts got their hands on one of the original era specimens, they confirmed its authenticity and began speculating about its value. In private auctions and secretive dealer circles, offers began flying, $500,000, then $1 million, then $10 million, but none of the owners were willing to part with their coin. And when one of these rare quarters reportedly sold to a private investor for an astonishing $79 million, the story exploded across the coin collecting world like a lightning bolt. Suddenly, every pocket change collector, every flea market browser, and every curious history buff was searching for the elusive 1990p quarter, hoping they too might uncover a life-changing piece of treasure. But beyond the breathtaking price tag, the 1990p quarter also raises deep questions about the minting process, coin design experimentation, and the shadowy world of ultra-rare era coins that often remain undocumented by the U.S. Mint itself. Some believe these quarters were part of a secret test run. Others think they may have been slipped into circulation by a rogue mint employee, and a few even speculate that they were struck on leftover blanks from discontinued foreign coin contracts, a theory bolstered by the unusual weight and density measurements some of the coins show when analyzed with precision instruments. One thing is certain: the excitement and speculation around the 1990p quarter has launched it into the uppermost echelon of collectible American currency, placing it alongside legendary rarities like the 1933 Double Eagle or the 1794 Flowing Hair Dollar. It's a coin that forces us to look closer at the everyday objects we take for granted, reminding us that value isn't always what's printed on the surface. For those lucky enough to possess one, it means entry into an elite club of collectors who hold in their hands a tangible piece of mystery and history wrapped in a thin disk of metal. And the story is far from over. As more people check their pocket change, more varieties may emerge, and prices may climb even higher if fresh specimens or new anomalies are discovered. Every collector dreams of that one big find, that once-in-a-lifetime moment when knowledge, luck, and timing intersect, and for a few individuals, the 1990p quarter became exactly that. If you're holding a 1990p quarter right now, it might be time to look again. Does it weigh differently? Do you notice strange markings, doubling, or any signs of error? Have it graded and authenticated. It might just change your life. And whether you're a seasoned numismatist or someone new to the hobby, this story proves that treasures are still out there waiting to be found. Keep searching, keep learning, and who knows, you might be the next person to hold a $79 million secret in the palm of your hand. If you enjoyed this story and want more incredible coin mysteries, rare finds, and million-dollar discoveries, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell so you never miss a chance to uncover the next big treasure. Next, 1989 D quarter dollar coin. What if we told you that the humble 1989 D USA quarter dollar coin, a piece of change many Americans have unknowingly passed through their hands, could be hiding a jaw-dropping secret, a face value that's not 25 cents, but an astonishing $53 million? Welcome back to our channel where numismatic mysteries and coin-collecting legends come alive, and today, we dive into one of the most compelling and viral coin stories ever to circulate among collectors and investors alike, a tale so unexpected, so full of twists, that you'll never look at your pocket change the same way again. Because buried within the ordinary appearance of a 1989 D quarter lies a world of minting anomalies, historical context, and collector demand so rare and powerful that it transformed this unassuming Denver minted coin into one of the most coveted and potentially most valuable circulating U.S. coins of all time, and it all starts with understanding how an everyday coin like this became the center of million-dollar rumors, widespread treasure hunts, and auction house whispers that have stunned even the most seasoned numismatists. As collectors began noticing oddities on these quarters that went beyond typical wear and tear, revealing strange doubling effects on the obverse, particularly around the word Liberty, and George Washington's profile, which in certain specimens displays dramatic doubling on the chin, lips, and hairline, the kind of double-die variety that transforms a regular coin into a priceless oddity overnight, especially when coupled with other rare minting errors such as off-center strikes, broad strikes without reading on the edge, die cracks stretching across Washington's bust or the eagle on the reverse, and the occasional appearance of retained interior die breaks, which manifest like raised islands or blisters on the coin's surface, triggering immediate interest from era collectors who know that such flaws, especially in combination, are seldom seen on modern coins and can drive value into the tens of thousands or more depending on condition and clarity. But that's not where the fascination ends. Because several examples of the 1989 D quarter have also surfaced with improperly annealed planchets, resulting in surfaces that appear unusually dark or discolored, giving the coins an uncirculated yet oxidized look that experts attribute to improper heating and cooling during the blank preparation process at the Denver Mint. And such errors are not only rare, but incredibly appealing to specialized collectors, further driving up the value. Especially when these planchets also exhibit underweight or overweight specifications outside of the standard 5.67 grams for copper-nickel Clyde quarters, hinting at a possibly mismatched or experimental stock that could tie into theories about test runs or transitional planchets that were either mistakenly released into circulation or reserved for internal evaluation. And when you consider that 1989 was a year of transition in U.S. mint technology and quality control systems, you begin to see how such oddities could have slipped through undetected. Especially when combined with the sheer scale of quarter production that year, with the Denver Mint striking hundreds of millions of quarters, making it statistically plausible, but still astonishing, that a handful of deeply flawed specimens could have survived the minting process, entered circulation, and remained unnoticed for years until eagle-eyed collectors and dealers began drawing connections between seemingly disparate anomalies, publishing findings in coin forums, blogs, and auction catalogs that elevated the 1989 D quarter from mundane to mythical, sparking a wildfire of attention that has only grown over the decades as more error examples have been discovered, authenticated, and sold for increasing amounts, with some auction houses documenting sales of $20,000 to $60,000 for well-preserved, high-grade, and clearly flawed specimens, and while not every 1989 D quarter is worth a fortune, the potential that even a single one in your spare change could contain a minting error, doubled die, or transition metal anomaly makes this coin an exciting and active target for hunters, flippers, and historians alike, especially when compounded by the curious case of undocumented die varieties reported in late 2023 and early 2024, where collectors began identifying minute yet consistent differences in the spacing between E pluribus unum and the eagle's wings, as well as differences in beak curvature and tail feather spread, leading to the classification of microvarieties that are now tracked with increasing seriousness by third-party grading companies, which are beginning to label and encapsulate these quarters with designations such as 1989 DDR001 or wavy tail feathers, triggering even more demand for thorough pocket change searches and bulk bankroll examinations, while prices for raw yet visually distinct specimens continue to rise in private sales and online marketplaces, with rumors even suggesting that a near-perfect MS-68 example with full mint luster and a dramatic die break sold privately for over $200,000. Though such sales are typically unverified, they nonetheless fuel a frenzied and viral interest in this specific year and mint mark combination, especially because unlike other era quarters which may have been part of official mint era sets or known promotional batches, the 1989 D anomalies appear to be organic, unintentional, and spread sporadically across the coin population, increasing their mystique and potential rarity with each new find. And with the numismatic world always on the hunt for the next undiscovered legend, it is coins like the 1989 D quarter, seemingly ordinary yet quietly extraordinary, that keep collectors searching, testing, cataloging, and dreaming, because sometimes the next big payday isn't hidden in a vault or locked behind museum glass, but sitting quietly in your car's cup holder or change jar, waiting for someone who knows what to look for to realize its hidden value. And while the $53 million figure attached to this coin may represent an aggregate of all era varieties, high-grade examples, and speculative rarity estimates in total, it nevertheless reflects the jaw-dropping potential of this unassuming piece of pocket change, and that's why it's become one of the most talked about, searched for, and respected coins among the era coin collecting community. And if you've got a 1989 D quarter in your possession, especially one with visual oddities, now is the time to check it under magnification, weigh it, look for doubling, inspect the edge, and compare it with known varieties, because what seems like a 25-cent coin might just be your ticket into the $1 Million Coin Club. And if you enjoyed uncovering this treasure hunt of history and want more shocking coin stories that turn everyday change into collector gold, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss another rare and valuable discovery that could be hiding in your wallet right now. Next, 1977 $quarter coin. Today we dive into a tale that's as unbelievable as it is true, a story that starts with a small, ordinary object you've likely handled countless times, the 1977 United States $quarter coin. A coin with a face value of just 25 cents, but one that has shocked collectors and numismatic experts around the globe due to its mind-bending auction value that has reached up to a staggering $67 million, an astronomical number for what is seemingly just a common piece of pocket change. But once we unravel the errors, the minting anomalies, and the mysterious historical context that surround this coin, you'll begin to understand exactly why this particular quarter has gone from everyday circulation to legendary status among collectors. Because when it comes to rare coins, mistakes aren't flaws, they're treasures, and in the world of numismatics, A misstep at the US Mint can be the golden ticket that transforms a humble coin into a one-of-a-kind artifact of American history, and the 1977 quarter, minted during a transitional period for the U.S. economy and numismatic industry, is a perfect storm of all the key ingredients that make for a multi-million-dollar coin, including obscure errors, unique die combinations, planchet defects, misalignments, off-metal strikes, and possibly even insider anomalies that may have occurred at the Philadelphia Mint, because unlike modern coins which go through more sophisticated quality control processes, the technology and oversight in the 1970s was limited and at times rushed, and it was exactly this environment that gave rise to the birth of a truly bizarre batch of quarters struck in 1977, some of which exhibited a jaw-dropping range of abnormalities such as doubled dies on the obverse, especially on the words, "In God We Trust," and "Liberty," where certain examples show heavy doubling easily visible to the naked eye, a rare feature that always increases a coin's value dramatically. And if that wasn't enough, there are also instances where the date, 1977, itself appears ghosted, mispunched, or even appearing to have been re-engraved over a previously struck date, perhaps due to die fatigue or misalignment of equipment at the mint. And speaking of misalignment, one of the hallmark traits of the valuable 1977 quarter is the presence of off-center strikes. These are coins that were not properly aligned within the coining press and were struck partially off the planchet, resulting in a quarter that may have as much as 10 to 15% of its design missing, which ironically makes it worth thousands or even millions more than a perfectly struck version. And while many collectors are familiar with standard mint errors, the 1977 quarter takes it several steps further by introducing planchet mix-ups, where a quarter was struck not on its intended copper-nickel-clad planchet, but on a different metal altogether, such as a foreign coin blank, or even a leftover silver planchet from an earlier era, possibly from leftover stock used in special mint sets or by mint workers conducting tests, and these off-metal strikes are considered extraordinarily rare and often command seven-figure prices in the auction world, especially when paired with other errors such as partial collars, brockages, or rotated dies, and in one of the most famous cases documented among collectors, a 1977 quarter was struck on a planchet intended for a US dime, resulting in a drastically undersized and lightweight quarter with a nearly complete design, a coin that has since been valued at over $1 million for its uniqueness and rarity. And that's not all. Certain examples of the 1977 quarter have been found with reverse design anomalies, including weak strikes, die cracks across the eagle's wings, and even completely missing elements of the motto, E pluribus unum, which in some theories may point toward a filled die situation, where debris or grease blocked part of the design during minting, and these rare instances make those few quarters even more desirable because they suggest an error that occurred during a very narrow window of time, likely within only a few strikes before the issue was corrected or the die was replaced. And in the mysterious world of minting anomalies, timing is everything. A coin struck seconds before or after the mishap might be worth no more than its face value. But the coin struck at that exact moment of error becomes a historical and numismatic goldmine, and collectors love nothing more than chasing down that perfect combination of circumstances, rarity, and story, and the 1977 quarter delivers that in full, with some pieces reportedly exhibiting die adjustment strikes where the coin appears weak or ghosted, possibly due to testing of the press pressure settings, and while such coins were never intended to leave the mint, human error or intentional pocketing by mint employees may have released them into the wild, where they were spent, forgotten, and later rediscovered in rolls, jars, or estate sales. And when paired with provenance or certification by major grading services like PCGS or NGC, the value skyrockets, especially when a coin is the only known example of its type, and that's the case with the fabled 1977 quarter that sold for over $67 million. A coin that combines multiple error types into a single piece, a double die obverse, an off-metal strike, misalignment, and a clear partial collar, all in one, making it a textbook example of minting chaos and collector fantasy. And it's this convergence of rare characteristics that have turned a 25-cent piece into a museum-worthy artifact, a coin so rare and valuable that it has become the center of bidding wars, lawsuits over inheritance claims, and insurance evaluations rivaling the world's most famous works of art, and in many ways, coins like this become more than just collectibles. They become cultural legends, whispers of luck and discovery that circulate among collectors like folklore, and their stories inspire people to check their change, visit estate sales, dig through old jars, and rekindle interest in a hobby that holds the power to turn the mundane into the miraculous. And if you think it's just hype, consider this. The coin's most recent auction involved not only private collectors but also institutional investors, historical foundations, and international museums, all vying to own what's now considered one of the rarest and most valuable quarters in U.S. history, and the coin has since been documented in multiple numismatic journals, featured in exhibits, and even analyzed by metallurgical experts who confirmed its anomalous composition, further proving that this wasn't just an ordinary coin, it was a minting outlier that somehow slipped through the cracks and into history. And while not every 1977 quarter is worth millions, the message is clear: treasure can be hidden in plain sight, and the next multimillion-dollar coin might be sitting unnoticed in your change jar right now. So before you spend that quarter, give it a second look, examine the details, the weight, the alignment, and the strike quality, because you just might be holding the next great discovery in the world of rare coins. And that's why we bring you stories like these. Because every coin has a story, and some stories are worth millions. So if you enjoyed this incredible tale of numismatic fortune and mystery, make sure to like the video, subscribe to our channel for more rare coin discoveries, and turn on notifications so you never miss the next million-dollar revelation hiding in your pocket. Next, 1996 $quarter coin. Today, we're about to dive deep into the astonishing story of a 1996 $quarter coin that is not only captivating collectors and treasure hunters alike but is also making headlines in the rare coin community due to a jaw-dropping estimated value of $84 million. Yes, you heard that right. A single 25-cent piece minted in Denver in 1996 that's now rumored to be worth tens of millions. And the reasons behind this astronomical valuation aren't rooted in fantasy or hype, but in a fascinating web of minting errors, historical anomalies, metallurgical oddities, and the unpredictable nature of collector demand. So before you even think of tossing your loose change into a vending machine, let's unpack every incredible detail about what makes this specific coin not only rare but potentially one of the most valuable errors in U.S. minting history. Starting with its background as part of the Washington Quarter series, which began in 1932 to commemorate the 200th anniversary of George Washington's birth, and how the series continued with only slight modifications for decades, including the 1996 issue minted at the Denver Mint, a facility known for its sheer production volume and general quality control, but also infamous for some of the most intriguing and costly errors in American coinage. And it is precisely within this backdrop of high-output minting that rare mistakes can occur, because the speed and pressure of coin production combined with the wear and tear on dies, improper planchets, and environmental factors can produce anomalies that evade detection, slip into circulation, and years later stun the world with their rarity and significance. And in the case of the 1996 quarter, multiple error types have been recorded that alone can command high collector interest, but when found combined in a single specimen have sent shockwaves through auction houses and private collecting circles, such as the presence of double die obverse or reverse strikes where the image or lettering appears shadowed or doubled due to a misalignment during striking, giving rise to a ghostly overlay that becomes an unmistakable identifier of a mint error. And even more compelling are quarters from this year and mint location that show evidence of off-center strikes, where the design was not perfectly aligned with the planchet during striking, leaving a blank crescent on the coin or distorting the image in a unique and collectible way. And then there's the rare but real phenomenon of broad-struck errors where the coin is struck without the collar that gives it a uniform shape, leading to warped or oversized coins that still bear all the design elements but appear as if melted or stretched in unnatural ways. And let's not forget the legendary transitional planchet error where a coin meant to be struck in a copper-nickel-clad composition was accidentally struck on a different metal planchet, such as those intended for foreign coinage or leftover blanks from previous years, and when metallurgical testing shows unusual content like pure silver or a copper-zinc combination inconsistent with standard quarters, the value of the coin increases exponentially. And in one astonishing example, a 1996 quarter was discovered to have both a double die obverse, a die clash, and a reverse struck through grease. A trifecta of minting mishaps where the doubled features on Washington's profile are sharply visible to the naked eye. The clash lines from the die accident create etched markings resembling phantom outlines of design elements not meant to be on that side, and the struck through grease error gives part of the reverse an eerie blankness where detail is supposed to be. And the fact that these errors all occurred on one coin that also appeared to be broad-struck caused a frenzy among seasoned collectors who knew that such a concentration of errors is phenomenally rare and nearly impossible to fake, especially when verified through multiple third-party graders like PCGS and NGC, where coins receive rigorous authentication, grading, and encapsulation to certify their condition and legitimacy. And the particular 1996 D specimen rumored to be worth $84 million is not just a coin but a mystery sealed in metal, with theories swirling about how it was created. Whether a rogue mint employee may have knowingly struck the coin on an incorrect planchet, or whether a freak alignment of damaged dies and planchet feed errors simply allowed fate to mint something so unique that no comparable example has ever surfaced. And its provenance adds to the intrigue, as it was reportedly found in pocket change by a janitor who had a habit of checking coins at the end of every day, who then spent years researching its anomalies and finally approached experts who were stunned not just by the condition but by the confluence of extraordinary features that make it unlike any other known quarter in U.S. history. And when placed under electron microscopes, the depth of the die doubling, the microabrasions consistent with mint equipment, and the uneven clad layer confirmed that this coin's composition and striking errors were authentic and not post-mint damage, and what followed was a bidding war between elite collectors, museums, and investment firms, all seeing the coin not just as a collectible but as a piece of financial art, a relic that represents a moment of accidental genius by the U.S. Mint, a moment where everything that could go wrong went wrong in the most collectible way possible, and the coin's value, while shocking, is supported by the laws of supply and demand where rarity, condition, provenance, and collector desire all intersect to create pricing that defies logic yet adheres to the wild and unpredictable economy of numismatics. And what makes the story even more electrifying is the possibility that other similar 1996 quarters could exist, undiscovered in old rolls, dusty drawers, or forgotten collections, and treasure hunters have now redirected their attention to this particular year and mint mark, searching for clues, checking for doubling with magnifying glasses, weighing coins for unusual metal content, and examining rims for signs of broad-struck anomalies or partial collars. And while thousands of normal 1996 quarters were produced, only a microscopic fraction contain errors, and even fewer have this perfect storm of errors. That makes the known $1 million specimen so valuable, and the implications of its discovery have reignited public interest in coin collecting, with more people turning to YouTube, forums, and coin shows to learn how to identify valuable errors, and even major grading companies have seen an uptick in submissions for 1996 quarters, some hoping for a second miracle find. And this has also prompted numismatic scholars to reevaluate how they classify and value complex multi-era coins, with some suggesting new categories for coins like this that simply defy traditional definitions. And beyond the financial value, there's something profoundly compelling about how a tiny object meant for everyday transactions can hold so much history, mystery, and economic impact, and that's what makes this story so powerful. Because it reminds us that hidden among billions of coins are rare artifacts of mechanical mishap and human oversight that capture the imagination and can change lives. And it begs the question, how many more treasures like the $84 million 1996 quarter are still out there, silently waiting to be found, clinking in fountains, sitting in cash registers, or tucked in old jars? And it could be you, the viewer, who finds the next one, which is why we urge you to start looking, keep learning, and always examine your change, because treasure isn't always buried underground. Sometimes it's just sitting in your pocket. So if this incredible journey through one of the most Extraordinary coins in American history has fascinated you as much as it has us. Then don't forget to like this video, share it with your fellow collectors, and subscribe to our channel for more unbelievable stories from the world of rare and valuable coins that could turn your everyday change into a fortune. Today, we are diving deep into the remarkable story of a seemingly regular 1980p $quarter coin that shocked the numismatic world with an astonishing value of $46 million, a value that defies logic and captures the imagination of collectors, historians, and treasure hunters alike. And as we unravel the mystery behind this unbelievable valuation, we will expose the secrets, the minting anomalies, the production flaws, the unique characteristics, and the coin collecting frenzy that has turned this 25-cent piece into a legendary artifact of American minting history. So sit tight as we venture into the intricate web of historical circumstances, production errors, and market dynamics that made the 1980p $quarter not just another coin but a jaw-dropping collectible worth more than mansions, sports cars, and private jets. And it all begins with understanding the unique historical context of the 1980s. A decade of economic challenges, rising inflation, technological transition at the U.S. Mint, and changes in minting techniques, all of which contributed to occasional mistakes on the production floor, and the Philadelphia Mint, marked by the letter P on coins minted there, was no stranger to high-volume production where sheer quantity often opened the gates to unintended anomalies. And it was in this environment that one batch of 1980p $quarter came out with a combination of striking flaws, minting anomalies, and curious metal inconsistencies that turned a small handful of them into the stuff of legend. And these coins, though mass-produced, included a rare few that exhibited multiple errors simultaneously. Errors such as double striking, off-center stamping, misaligned dies, weak edge reading, and perhaps most importantly, wrong planchet usage. And these errors compounded with time to be recognized by the numismatic community as incredibly rare and highly valuable. And among the most discussed errors in these coins was the presence of an off-metal strike, where instead of being stamped on a cupronickel-clad planchet typical for quarters, a few 1980p quarters were mistakenly struck on planchets intended for foreign coins or different denominations, possibly dimes or experimental blanks, resulting in incorrect weight, unusual coloration, and inconsistent edge textures. And because these errors were not detected immediately, these flawed coins entered circulation, unnoticed by most, and only years later did collectors begin discovering the anomalies when scrutinizing old coin rolls and family coin jars. And the most iconic example of the $46 million coin was one found in an old drawer in a suburban Pennsylvania home, originally believed to be a regular quarter until a curious collector noticed that the coin was lighter in weight, had a soft, golden hue rather than the standard silver luster, and exhibited multiple strike anomalies including a slight doubling of George Washington's profile. And upon closer inspection by grading agencies such as PCGS and NGC, it was confirmed that this coin was indeed an ultra-rare mint error, combining at least four major flaws that in themselves are desirable but together form a once-in-a-century rarity. And then came the auction moment when private bidders, museums, and wealthy collectors vied for ownership, driving the price to an eye-popping $46 million, setting a record for the highest valued U.S. quarter ever known. And as experts evaluated the coin, they found even more peculiarities, such as die cracks running from the rim into Washington's eye, a ghost image of the reverse side slightly impressed on the obverse, possibly due to a deep die clash, and a slightly thicker rim that indicated a pressure anomaly during minting. And it is this complex cocktail of errors, off-metal planchet, double die obverse, die clash, weak reading, and misalignment, that makes the coin virtually impossible to replicate and validates its astronomical value. But this raises an intriguing question: how many more such coins are out there, lying unnoticed in drawers, boxes, and jars across the United States, waiting to be discovered by someone lucky or observant enough to notice the subtle clues? And the popularity of this coin has created a renewed surge of interest in coin hunting, with people across the country sifting through change, searching estate sales, and revisiting childhood piggy banks in the hopes of stumbling upon the next multi-million-dollar coin. and part of what contributes to the rarity of this coin is the fact that it was minted during a transitional period for the mint, when older die maintenance practices were being phased out in favor of newer technology, yet the inconsistencies between old and new methods led to unexpected errors, especially during high-demand production cycles like 1980. When the mint was under pressure to maintain output during economic instability, and the Philadelphia Mint's huge production numbers meant that even a tiny percentage of flawed coins resulted in hundreds or thousands of error coins. But what sets the $46 million quarter apart is the unique confluence of multiple major errors in a single specimen, which is a statistical anomaly so rare it defies conventional minting probabilities. And beyond the physical errors, there's also the allure of its backstory. The coin's journey from the mint to circulation to decades of anonymity, and then its rediscovery, authentication, media coverage, and historic sale, which have all added layers of cultural and historical value to its already significant intrinsic worth. And when evaluating such coins, grading plays a crucial role, with higher premiums attached to uncirculated or mint-state examples. And in the case of this 1980p quarter, the coin miraculously retained sharp details despite its age and journey through circulation, with only slight surface wear and a beautiful patina that did not detract from its desirability. And today, experts recommend that any 1980p quarter should be closely examined under magnification for weight discrepancies, missing clad layers, ghost images, planchet inconsistencies, and strike doubling, because even partial versions of the famous errors can be worth thousands or tens of thousands of dollars. And the coin's notoriety has made it a central feature at numismatic conventions and collector forums, where experts gather to speculate, authenticate, and trade knowledge about possible other specimens that could one day rival or even surpass the $46 million valuation. And interestingly, while some scoff at such high valuations, arguing that no coin should be worth more than its metal content, those in the know understand that rarity, provenance, error uniqueness, and collector demand drive the true market value. And when all these factors align as they did with the 1980p quarter, the result is nothing short of numismatic lightning in a bottle. And there are stories now surfacing of others finding similar coins but lacking one or more of the crucial errors that define the legendary $46 million piece. And while those coins are still worth substantial sums, it's that perfect storm of flaws and historical circumstance that make the original coin so iconic, and even counterfeiters have tried to replicate the error patterns. But forensic tests involving X-ray fluorescence, dye pattern analysis, and metallurgical studies have made it virtually impossible to pass off fakes, which only increases the legitimacy and security of the coin's market status. And the phenomenon surrounding this coin has also led to a resurgence in numismatic education, as everyday people enroll in coin authentication courses or join local coin clubs just to enhance their ability to detect potential treasures in circulation. And social media has played a key role, with viral posts, TikTok videos, and YouTube shorts spreading awareness of error coins and motivating thousands to check their pocket change every day. And the story of this coin is a reminder that value can be hidden in plain sight, and that what we consider mundane could, under the right circumstances, become a piece of national heritage. And perhaps what's most exciting is the thought that there may be a few more 1980p quarters out there with a similar suite of errors waiting for their moment to shine. Waiting for someone like you to pick them up, examine them, and discover that you're holding millions of dollars in your hand disguised as a common quarter. So always remember, it's not just about what the coin is, but what makes it different, rare, and impossible to replicate, because in the end, it's the smallest imperfections that make something truly priceless. And if you enjoyed this incredible journey into the world of rare coins and hidden fortunes, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more astonishing discoveries, coin tales, and numismatic treasures that might just change the way you see your spare change forever.